Unimaginable evils like mind control, human trafficking, and institutional abuse decimated Allie's life. But in the depth of her despair, Shelley proved to be an unexpected rescuer. They rose from the ashes as a team, turning their suffering into a mission. Today, Allie's quest isn't just about survival. It's a beacon of hope for many others stuck in the shadows. Stay with us as we dive right into details, shall we? This is a story of a young lady that has been brutalized so many times. Allie said in this video how she was being sold to Russia for sex trafficking.
A pimp who sold me to Russia one time. He promised me that it's weird in I mean, everything is backwards, but in trafficking, in being a prostitute, there's rankings to things. So a trafficker, a pimp, and a John are three different things. When you are one of the girls or one of the guys, you have a kind of a ranking, and being bottom bitch means being top. So
she further said that being a prostitute there are ranks in which she categorized the ranking sex slave in three categories. A trafficker, a pimp, and a John Alley said these three categories are different things. She also said if you are one of the guys or a girl that is called bottom bitch, that means you are ranked at the top. Allie's early years were clouded in darkness, her memories tarnished by unspeakable events that no kid should have to experience. She appeared to be just another girl from the outside, but she was ensnared in a bad dream. The trafficking of sex was just the start. Many were unaware that Allie fell prey to a much darker force, the MK Ultra program, a covert government operation that preyed on the weak and used mind control experiments to subdue its subjects' will. Allie was compelled to live a life of trauma and abuse for many years. Her perception of reality became hazy, causing her to become disjointed. Allie got married to a 27-year-old slave master who she calls a pimp at the age of 15 years old just to avoid being used. With that, she has to choose lesser evil sex toys that change her livelihood and way of reasoning. Deep trauma was inflicted upon Allie. Her abuser's systematic aggression and years of satanic ritual abuse (SRA) caused her to develop dissociative identity disorder (DID), a survival mechanism that caused her to split into numerous personas. Not only was there physical violence in the world she lived in, but mental assault as well, intended to shatter her mind and distort her memories and perceptions to the point where she lost her identity. In addition to the terrifying experiences of mind control and human trafficking, Allie had to deal with the disloyalty of the same mechanisms designed to keep her safe. Because of corruption within Child Protective Services (CPS), her abusers were able to continue their abusive activities while her suffering went unnoticed. Her extensive history of trauma was compounded by police brutality and institutional ineptitude, which further cemented her perception that the world was against her. She avoided the darkness that lurked beyond her window and within her head, living in perpetual fear. But Allie's story did not end in tragedy. Shelley was a woman with a loving and fiery heart.
It was late at night. We turned the live cameras on, and you saw us get really belligerent with the police. They searched our car, they pulled everything out. What you don't understand is there's so many more things that go on for survivors. Weeks prior to that, one of Allie's handlers had bought onto her contract. That means that they paid money for each one of those police officers to pull us over the way they did. And I already knew that your police officers are not all good and they're not all bad, but there are some that have sworn to the Freemason Brotherhood, and they're very corrupt. Like all the secret societies, they do what they're told to do. When you saw Allie getting very belligerent with the police officer, it's because the police officer was looking at the phone. One of the people that help us stay out of the way was calling, and we didn't want him to see who was calling because we were afraid that he would harass her. So it was actually Allie's alter, Maddie, that was getting very belligerent.
Although Shelley's entrance into Allie's life was unplanned, she soon realized she couldn't leave. She perceived in Allie something that others had missed, a glimmer of resiliency, a will to live that had not faded in the face of adversity. Instead of seeing Allie as a defenseless victim, Shelley saw her as a warrior in need of a companion to fight with her. Everything started to change for Allie the minute she met Shelley. Allie started talking gingerly and slowly about the atrocities she had experienced. Allie healed from the inside out because of Shelley's everlasting love and haven. Alone with the nightmares of the past, they stood firm against the world that had once ripped Allie apart. Being a devoted mother wasn't all that Shelley accomplished. She turned as Allie's strongest supporter, making sure that her narrative was heard. Allie was more than simply a survivor with Shelley by her side. She was a voice for hundreds of other people who had been silenced due to similar horrors. Their relationship, which was based on love, suffering, and a resolve to pursue justice, was unshakable. Allie's voice became stronger with each passing moment. A video that Allie posted to Instagram in 2020 went viral and quickly took over social media. Allie openly discussed in the film the horrifying abuses she had endured, including sex trafficking and MK-Ultra mind control, as well as the several psychological disorders she was currently dealing with, including PTSD and DID. Shelley was there for her, encouraging her each step of the way. Many people were moved by the film, which started a national dialogue about the horrible acts that are carried out in secret. In addition to sharing Allie's narrative through their website, Allie's Army, they also served as a hub for survivors of systematic corruption, human trafficking, and sexual assault. Allie and Shelley soon came to understand that facing the system that permitted such atrocities to occur was as important as simply surviving the past. They jumped into advocacy activity, revealing the dishonest establishments that had let Allie and many others down. Their struggle expanded beyond them to become a campaign for societal healing, fairness, and openness. Allie and Shelley confronted the strong institutions that permitted crimes against humanity to go unpunished as part of their commitment to aid others. They revealed the corruption that existed inside Child Protective Services, emphasizing how frequently the very kids it was tasked with rescuing were ignored. They exposed police violence and made people aware of how victims like Allie had been let down by the system. Above all, they resisted the temptation to allow the crimes against Allie and those who resembled her to go unpunished. However, Allie's rehabilitation was marked by more than simply her activism. With Shelley's resolute assistance, Allie was able to reclaim her story. With the help of her newfound support system, therapy, and faith, Allie started to piece her broken mind back together. After being split apart by pain, her personalities started to come together, each of them a representation of her fortitude and capacity to endure the unfathomable. Every day was a struggle for Allie as she battled the things that would send her back to her dark regions and faced her irrational worry that there was danger in the world. But she was not fighting by herself now. Shelley's story inspired action rather than simply pity as a growing group stood with her. Ali's voice became louder with each interview, blog post, and video. The phrase "Ali's Army" quickly caught on. Survivors from many backgrounds came together in support of Ali, seeing a reflection of themselves in her narrative. They perceived in her the possibility of recovery, even from the most severe damage. Through their efforts, Ali and Shelley brought attention to atrocities that had long been overlooked and opened the door to crucial discussions about the institutional abuse that was taking place behind closed doors. Ultimately, Ali's narrative is one of metamorphosis rather than only survival. What started as a story of unspeakable anguish evolved into an ode to human tenacity. Ali's life was changed by Shelley's love and support, and Ali's bravery changed the lives of others. Together, they keep fighting for justice, exposing wrongdoing, and giving hope to others who are still in the dark. Even though Ali still has a long way to go, she understands that she is no longer alone because of Shelley and the horde of supporters that are behind her. She is a warrior, not just a survivor, and her fight is far from over. Ali's tale is a monument to the unbreakable spirit of survival and hope. No matter how difficult the path, keep in mind that recovery is achievable. Reach out and share your story if you or someone you know is experiencing difficulties. By working together, we can end the taboo and create an abuse-free future. Become a member of Ali's Army now to help bring about change. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Also subscribe to our Crime Chronicles channel. Like, share, and leave a comment in the comment box. See you in our next video.